wonderful music, a beautiful movie set in the backdrop of Paris, beloved by the Parisians and everybody in France. Yet it was the first animated film to be released without waltzing all of production. What makes Aristocats special, and why has it kind of had this weird little underratedness within the Disney Classics collection brand? Hello, my name is Em, and I am currently on a journey where I am watching all of the Disney animated movies in chronological order and ranking them on a tier list with my husband. And before I get into our thoughts, I always love to give a little history to give context to these films. So I kind of goofed and I didn't put our current rankings in the Jungle Book video like I normally do. Whatever is the last film of whatever decade, I put our current rankings. So I'm going to put it here. Here it is. This does not include Aristocats, but this is our rankings so far. Anyway, let's get into the history. The Aristocats was released on December 24th, 1970. I'm going to make a stipulation. I'm going to say The Aristocats and Aristocats throughout this entire video, and I am so sorry and I apologize. But let's be honest, we don't call it the Jungle Book, it's Jungle Book. We don't call it The Lion King, it's Lion King. We don't call it The Little Mermaid, it's Little Mermaid. But I digress. So The Aristocats stars Phil Harris as Thomas O'Malley, and he had previously voiced Baloo in The Jungle Book, Ava Gabor as Duchess, Gary Dublin as Toulouse, Liz English as Marie, Dean Clark as Berlioz, Sterling Holloway as Roquefort, and let me tell you, Sterling Holloway has had a career, so bear with me as I say all of these things that he's voiced. He's also voiced a little bit more. I know that he's done some stuff in like the Three Caballeros and stuff and all that jazz. So if you want to know more about Sterling Holloway, he's a very big Disney voice. But he voiced Mr. Stork in Dumbo, Adult Flower in Bambi, the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland, and Kaa in The Jungle Book. Scatman Crothers as Crothers. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, as Scat Cat, Pat Buttram as Napoleon, George Lindsay as Lafayette, Hermione Baddeley as Madame, and she had just done Ellen in Mary Poppins a few years earlier. Roddy Maud Roxby as Edgar, and Carol Shelley as Amelia. Guys, I'm saying Carol Shelley as Amelia because I don't think I've talked about this before. I'm a little bit of a Broadway, not as much, but I used to be a pretty big musical nerd. And Wicked was my first musical that I ever saw live. I didn't see it on Broadway, but Wicked's pretty big deal to me, the musical. If you don't know who Carol Shelley is, she is the original Madame Morrible on Broadway. So seeing that she's in Aristocats, that kind of blew my mind. Anyway, continuing on, it is the first film to be produced where Walt did not see all of production before his death in 1966. So he did approve this production, but he didn't get to see most of it. In early December of 1961, Walt went to Harry Title and Tom McGowan to ask them to find animal stories to adapt into a 2-part live-action episode for The Wonderful World of Color. So if you've heard Disneyland, of the Disneyland TV show, it had now transitioned to be The Wonderful World of Color when Color TV had come out. And by New Year's in 1962, Tom McGowan had found multiple stories, specifically one about a cat and her kittens that was set in New York. Title felt that the London setting on 101 Dalmatians elevated the story, so the setting for this film was changed to Paris. The story would become about 2 servants, the butler and the maid, who were in line for inheritance after their employer's cats died, and focused on attempts to get rid of or kill them. I'm not sure. And Boris Karloff was in mind to play the butler, and Françoise Rosé for Madame. A subplot involved a mother cat hiding her kittens in a variety of homes to avoid danger around Paris. So kind of very 101 Dalmatians-esque. I'm kind of glad they got rid of that plot point because, like, I don't know, it just would make it feel like they're reheating their own nachos. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway, so Tom Rowe, an American in Paris, but like an American living in Paris at the time, wrote the original story for the movie. And by August of 1962, the story treatment was set to Burbank, where the studio is and was at the time, and it was rejected by the executives. So then this upset Tom McGowan, and he suggested that they should sell the story to someone else, but then learned that Walt was staying in London and was like, well, I'm gonna go for the money. And so he slipped the story treatment in an envelope and dropped it off at the front desk where Walt was staying for Walt to get and read. Walt then contacted him saying that he liked it and asked to meet with McGowan and Harry Tittle. In late August, Walt told Tittle to purchase the original story with the idea that it would be a live action feature with Tom McGowan as the director. Walt gave notes, including removing one of the kitten characters. And script revisions continued from January to February of 1963. Tom Rowe wrote the story, and he wrote a letter to Walt in June of 1963 stating that he had some disapproval with the changes that were being made. And Harry Tittle responded that the changes that Walt approved would be kept. Because, guys, it's the boss. Whatever the boss says, he gets. Like, I hate to say that, but, like, Walt is producing this movie. In August of 1963, Tittle suggested that the Aristocats be made into an animated feature, which Walt liked the idea. So then Walt recommended presenting it to Wolfgang Reitherman, who at the time was directing Jungle Book. And Wolfgang Reitherman would direct, like, a lot of these xerography ones. He's really good. Wolfgang Reitherman is really good. And Wolfgang Reitherman agreed, but the entire animation department was focused on Jungle Book at the time. Like, the entire feature film department was kind of, for animated films, was kind of focused on Jungle Book. So Aristocats was kind of put on the shelf for a bit. And in November of 1964, during a story meeting with Walt, he said that the cats should only speak with each other, never to the humans, much like 101 Dalmatians. So due to the production delays, Harry Tittle was encouraged to focus on live action projects by a studio producer, and then he would be replaced by Winston Hibler. In 1966, Walt assigned Ken Anderson, one of Disney's 9 Old Men, really cool guy, to determine if the Aristocats would work as an animated feature. With some help from Wolfgang Reitherman, he worked from scratch to simplify the story from the 2 story ideas into one story focused more on the cats. And Walt saw the preliminary sketches and approved the Aristocats shortly before he died. So Walt did not get to see any animation work. All he got to see was just the beginning of this. So this is, like, kind of big of, like, the story was approved. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal. So originally, there was an idea for Duchess finding owners that would benefit her kitten's talents. Wolfgang Reitherman kind of tossed that out, favoring, like, the adventure story of 101 Dalmatians, like, kind of like that, and the journey home. This is also when Elvira the maid was removed, leaving only Edgar as the antagonist. As with the Jungle Book, the characters' personalities were patterned after the voice actors. And in 1966, Walt contacted Phil Harris about possibly voicing a character, and then was cast as Thomas O'Malley after an improv session. To differentiate from Baloo, Wolfgang Reitherman said that O'Malley was more of a Clark Gable. And Wolfgang Reitherman cast Eva Gabor as Duchess, saying she had, quote, the freshest femme voice we've ever had. And Louis Armstrong was reported to be playing Scat Cat, but due to an illness, he had to back out, leading to Scatman Crothers doing the voice. And Pat Buttram and George Lindsay would play Napoleon and Lafayette. And reportedly, the filmmakers loved them so much that another scene was written where Edgar goes back to get his lost belongings. And can I say, that scene is hilarious. I know, I might seem juvenile, and some people are like, I saw a video. I saw a video that somebody made where they were basically talking about Disney villains, and they talked about Aristocats, and they were like, Aristocats is just like, Edgar's stupid, he's not funny, all these things. And I'm like, yeah, Edgar's just a guy. He's just a guy, and I think that's the comedy of it, is he's just a guy. And these are just cartoon antics that are just happening to a guy. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's bad. I definitely, something that I was thinking about, because as I was doing my research, I saw somebody, call Edgar a villain. And I was like, I don't think Edgar's a villain. He's an antagonist, for sure. But, he's not, a villain in the way that, I guess he does try to send them to Timbuktu. I guess that is the closest to villain he gets. Because he said, oh, I can kill them, but then I think he didn't want to, So, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just don't feel like Edgar is that bad. No, I do feel like Edgar's bad. Definitely, if he was a real human being, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're a horrible human being. But, I don't think he's just kind of like a guy, And I think, I don't know if that's scary or relieving. Anyway, how do I put this? This tangent to say, I saw, and it was, a very heated video, maybe not, a heated video, but, somebody using very negative language, being oh, I hated her, I did not like Aristocats, I just found it boring and contrived and everything. And I'm like, okay, then it's not for you. Here's my thing. I feel like we're in an era where movies have to be so stimulating and have to have you, there's a conversation a lot on the internet about understimulating movies for children. And let me tell you, old Disney is at the king of it. It's the king of the crop of understimulating movies for your children. And I concur. As a child that was raised on all Disney movies. And yeah, it has color, but it's definitely not going to be super duper. Maybe the everybody loves to be a cat sequence is the only thing, but these things are very, I don't know, it's kind of crazy to me, that people can be so judgmental about things. And that's kind of a goal of my channel, is to never be truly judgmental about things, is to kind of say and give it the love it deserves. I can say that right now, and I know that things might change a little bit once I get into the direct-to-DVD sequels, but I can say, all of these movies, I can understand why people love them. I might have some critiques, but I don't try to be mean. I don't know. Anyway, continuing on, Ken Anderson spent 18 months developing the designs of the characters, and originally O'Malley was supposed to have stripes like a tabby cat, but this was discarded after Wolfgang Reitherman remembered how much of a hassle the stripes on Shere Khan were. I can just imagine, if you guys remember my Snow White video, there was this specific technique that they did to make, Snow White's cheeks rosy, And like the ink and paint department said, we're never doing that again. We're never doing that again. I imagine that's how it was with the stripes on Shere Khan. They're like, can we give it a little bit before we put another striped animated character on screen? And it's kind of crazy. But anyway, this is the last Disney animated feature that the Sherman Brothers worked on as staff writers, as they supposedly grew frustrated with the new management at the studio after Walt's death. So this is actually not the last feature they composed for, though. They would come back. However, this is the last one they were on as staff writers. And that's sad. Like, I know they connected with Walt. And so I think it's actually kind of tragic that this is the last feature film as staff writers. I think they also did the ones possibly for Winnie the Pooh, but those were like a series of shorts first. I don't know. I have to do research for Winnie the Pooh when we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah. And the Sherman Brothers composed many songs, but the only ones to end up in the final film are the main title and Scales and Arpeggios. Which, guys, I love scales and arpeggios. As a future music teacher, I will be using scales and arpeggios. Do, mi, so, mi, do, 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 do. Sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that. The singer for the main title, Maurice Chevalier, came out of retirement to perform the song in the film, and this would be his last work before passing in 1972. Cut songs written by the Sherman Brothers are Pourquoi and its reprise, which were sung by Madame. She Never Felt Alone, which was meant to be sung by Duchess. They also composed Le Jazz Hot. I feel like it'd be Le Jazz Haute. That's how it would be in French, but I feel like it'd be Le Jazz... this is gonna hurt me so bad. Le Jazz Hot. Sorry, that hurt my soul. But that was replaced by Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. If you're interested, that's in like the special edition of the album, like not the special edition, the anniversary edition of the album. I was literally listening to it today. So if you want to hear the demo, you can hear the demo. And they also composed a villain song for Edgar and Elvira, but it was discarded after Elvira was cut. My Way's the Highway was replaced by Thomas O'Malley Cat, which was composed by Gary Gilkison, who also had composed Bare Necessities. And the score was composed by George Bruns, who took his jazz background and the accordion-like musette for the French flavor needed. And the Aristocats earned $77.7 million when adjusted for inflation by 1972 in the United States and Canada, and was the most popular general release in the British box office in 1971 and made $20.6 million when adjusted for inflation. It was also the highest attended film in France in 1971 with 12.7 million tickets. It is the 20th highest grossing movie in France to this day with $28.6 million when adjusted for inflation. I think that was when it was released. It was also the highest attended film in Germany that year with 11.3 million tickets sold. By the end of the Aristocats' theatrical run, it made $203 million worldwide when adjusted for inflation. And the Aristocats has a lifetime gross of $237.5 million worldwide when adjusted for inflation. The reviews were mixed, with some praising the music and characters, but others criticizing the movie for not having the Disney charm and it being unmemorable. I disagree. I remember it. I watched it all the time as a kid, but to each their own. To each their own. To each their own. Genuinely, I love the aesthetics of it. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. I think maybe I'm crazy. I like character-driven stories. And I feel like this story is so character-driven that I love it. Guys, like, stuff like The Breakfast Club might not be very interesting to other people. To me, I love stuff like The Breakfast Club. I want to see, this is crazy, this is so crazy. I'm like, don't give me a million setting changes. Tell me more about who these characters are. That's, to me, is what makes a half-baked film. If you don't tell me who these characters are, even in the smallest, simplest things of just basic personality, I'm out, you know? Like, I want to know who these characters are, why they're doing what they're doing, connecting to them. And I don't know, like, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I am crazy. Maybe I am crazy. I don't know. In 2005, a Disney Toon Studios sequel was planned, originally in 2D animation, but later planned to be in computer animation to garner more interest. The story would center around Marie falling in love with another kitten on a cruise ship. However, the family would soon have to take on a jewel thief on the ship. I don't hate that, but I also feel like maybe this is just me, maybe this is just me. I wouldn't want a 3D animation of the Aristocats. I feel... Hear me out. Part of the charm of these Xerox films is that they're Xerox films. So I just combined, I said feel, or whatever I said. I combined feel and fear. Which, yes, I feel and I fear. I feel and I fear that, that when I get to these straight-to-DVD sequels, by this I mean, like, 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure, what other ones were Xerox and ended up with a sequel? The Jungle Book 2, stuff like that, where they were originally in Xerox. I fear I'm gonna miss the little, like, kind of lines that come from it, you know? Like, I fear I'm gonna miss, like, it's so unique. I gotta say, like, the Xerox art style is so unique. I feel like I'm gonna miss it. Anyway, the sequel was canceled when John Lasseter became the chief creative officer over Disney. In January of 2022, it was announced that a live-action version would be in development, but in August 2025, it was revealed that the project would not be moving forward. I have no idea anymore. Because I know that after Snow White, they put live actions, all live actions that weren't already in development, on hold. But now, and then Lilo and Stitch happened and they got money. So, and now the live action Tangled is actually happening and it's been casted. You want my opinion on the live action Tangled? Not excited. Tangled is one of my favorite movies. It's in my top 3 for Disney. My top being Sleeping Beauty. I want to be optimistic. But I'm so sorry. I simply can't. I can't with live action Disney anymore, especially with what they did to Snow White. I can't do it. And frankly, I won't. I don't know why. This is something I've been saying, is why aren't they adapting older films? But then also at the same time, I'm like, what else are you going to add? You know? Like with Aristocats, what were they planning on develop? Because in my opinion, if you warrant a live action, you warrant some more development. Whether that be new themes from whatever story or book you adapted that you cut, or something new to say. For something to get a sequel, or a live action version, you have to have something new to say. And if you don't, that's stupid and a cash grab. I'm sorry, I'm getting really passionate over this, but that's the truth. It's the truth, isn't it? Sorry, little side tangent over. This is the last movie to end with a Walt Disney production, and the first of the Walt Disney Animated Classics collection to open with Walt Disney Productions Presents. This is a little fun fact that I thought was too funny to not include. The number of sleeping pills Edgar puts in the creme de la Edgar would have probably killed them. Guys, it's an animated film. I get it. But, like, I just think that's a funny fact. There was, like, a whole page on the Disney Wiki about goofs. And I was like, I don't feel like I need to do that. Somebody else can cover that. You know, that's for somebody else's channel. But for me, I'm going to cover how the number of sleeping pills would have put him not to sleep, but would have killed him. Especially those kittens, guys. He put the entire bottle of sleeping pills in there. He went, dunk. So, oh my gosh, I'm just having a good time here. All of the characters appear in House of Mouse except for the kittens. Guys, it's a nightclub. They don't belong there. Don't question why Nala and Simba are there, but not the kittens. Don't question that. It's okay. In this time period, there was a lot of reusing of animation because they had the Xerox process and they could just boom, 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 and they found it was cheaper. You know, they said, oh, we're going to have a scene where we're dancing. Oh, why don't we reuse this? We have, this scene. Oh, why don't we reuse this? And Aristocats is actually the movie that uses the least amount of reused animation. So quite a bit from Aristocats will go on to be reused, but Aristocats itself really only reuses some things from 101 Dalmatians. So, yeah. And that's all of the facts that I have and the history and the whatever. Apparently there's a graphic novel series. Check it out if you want to. I might. If you want a video on the graphic novel series, let me know. Yeah. And that's all I have for now. And on to my husband and I's thoughts. Before we go on to my husband and I's thoughts, I want to have a conversation because I am slowly trudging to 100 subscribers. So please let me know what you want in the comment section for a 100 subscriber special. Yeah, so that's it. Now on to my husband and I's thoughts on the Aristocats. So we just finished Aristocats. And, okay, to preface, I have a lot of fond memories of this movie. This is probably one of my favorites from when I was a kid. So I am the youngest of 5, but my 2 older siblings are quite a bit older than me, so there was often, 3 of us left at home, and that is exactly what my childhood felt like. Like, I felt like Marie being the youngest. I don't know, this movie has, I don't know, it's weird to say that it fixes a lot of the issues from, well, I don't think Lady and the Tramp has any issues, but it fixes the issues of 101 Dalmatians. And it really has its own uniqueness to it that I really adore. It takes what makes, Lady and the Tramp great, and then it fixes what went wrong with 101 Dalmatians. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. I also like how it's, I know I kind of critiqued a few in the past about this, but it's a simple story, and I think with Aristocats, they don't really play it to be more than what it is. Mm-hmm. You know, it's Edgar being a jerk, basically, is the whole plot, right? And so, that's the main conflict point, and then once he's handled happily ever after the end, you know?
Mm-hmm. I just think it really is just about their journey, and I think it's fun. I don't know, I think it's a gorgeous movie. It is such a pretty movie, and I don't know, it's I don't know how to describe it because I've been watching it basically my entire life. It is this is one of the ones that I've been excited to watch because it kind of shaped me as a human being.
I do really like their use of color theory, even outside of the everybody wants to be a cat, where they have all the flashing colors of different types. I think also just throughout the movie, they use very, very interesting uses of color theory. There was the one part you pointed out at the beginning by the crick, where they have the basket.
Did you just say crick? Creek?
Yes. By the
I pardon. The regional accent really came out there for him.
Out by the creek, as the aristocratic people would say.
Anybody who doesn't live in this state or is not backwater says creek.
Sure. Anywho, out by the creek, where the cats had their basket that they were in, and when they were waking up for the first time, you pointed out that shot being like really, really pretty with that one. And not just that, but another one. Oh, okay. But not just that, but another shot that I think was really cool is a few of the different shots of, I guess he says the low rent area, but the slums, the lower income, poverty part of the city, of the different shots. And in that shot, they use a lot of like darkers. They use lots of blues and blacks and stuff, but it still also looks very, very pretty.
I agree. I don't know. I think that this really benefits because I'd say like this is different from 101 Dalmatians. It's still pretty, but I like how it blends the Xeroxiness that gives it, I don't know what it is. It gives us this Parisian thing, It feels Parisian with the Xerox stuff. But then it also takes the beauty of like the painted backgrounds in Lady and the Tramp and stuff like that. So it feels, I don't know, it feels so good. I don't know what it is. It's so pretty and so beautiful. And I don't know, it's such a good film. It's such a good film. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like they took advantage of the tools they had.
100%. And I always love myself a good Sterling Holloway character. Love myself a good Phil Harris character, too. Like, they're both great in their own right. I think Thomas O'Malley is genuinely one of my favorite, like, Disney characters. I don't know. He's
Phil Harris, that's O'Malley?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I understand.
Yeah. I think he's just so much fun. But, like, I love the cutie pie little romance with him and Duchess. I think it's adorable. I don't know. I can't think of a scene that I'm like, oh, I hate that scene, or ugh, that scene drags, because it all has a purpose. I think there's a lot of, like, the comedy's not much, but I think when it's there, you feel it, because I feel like maybe this is just me, like, 101 Dalmatians did not have, like, the comedy that this has. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Like, I feel like with that one, it was all just journeying. And with this one, I think it fixed the mistake where we got to see Madame and see the impact that them leaving had on her. Yeah. And we got to see, I think, a little bit of difference, some Edgar antics, and have a little bit of comedic scenes with that to kind of relieve and we're still traveling. Yeah. That 101 Dalmatians had the problem with. Yeah,
that's something I actually really, really liked, was that, like, it was one of the critiques I gave of 101, where it's just like they're doing the thing and then doing the thing. It's like they like you said, it's like they learned from that. Mm-hmm. And, like, even if I forgot the name of the dogs, what was it? I know they said one of them started with a T.
No, it's Napoleon and Lafayette.
Lafayette, that's right. I don't know why I had a T in my head. But the two dogs, Napoleon and Lafayette, and their interaction with Edgar. In fact, the dogs themselves are not plot relevant.
They're not, but they're so funny.
They are. They're funny. They make up for it. They're not plot relevant at all to the story, but I think their presence to it in kind of being like I guess like a hero's journey for Edgar of sorts that you kind of have going on in the background, the villain's crescent or something going on, I think adds a lot to the story than them being directly plot relevant would.
Yeah, and I just think Edgar as a character is just very interesting because, of course, he's the villain, but he's not in this movie very much. Like,
Well, because for most of the movie, he thinks he's won.
But I do like the relief that we get with a few Edgar scenes. I will say that. I do enjoy that. And some scenes where we go back and we see... Oh my gosh, what's the mouse's name?
LaRoque? I think it's LaRoque.
Rutherford or something like that.
I think it's LaRoque.
It's not LaRoque. It's not LaRoque. It is not LaRoque. There's no way. It's Roquefort or Roquefort or something like that. And just like the scenes with him and Frou Frou, like I think just like add some things and yeah. Roquefort, I was closer.
No way.
I said Roquefort.
I said LaRoque.
You said LaRoque.
Yeah.
I was closer.
Is his name.
I was closer. I said Roquefort. Anyway, is that all we have before we get into the nitty-gritty that we need to talk about? Oh, the songs are good. I love the songs. All the music, amazing. Love it. Oh, the geese. Okay, here's the thing when you're a kid. I kind of found them annoying. Now I'm like, they're hilarious. They're hilarious because they remind you of like, I don't know, just like two people you meet on vacation and never see again. Yes. They're the people that you people watch, that you see like, people watching.
Or they're like someone from like a different culture. Now, clearly they're British. So like, and my mind thinks of actual like British examples, but like of people I've ran into on vacation. And then you never see them again because, they live in the UK and they're visiting the United States for like a week or something. And then they'll be gone and you'll never see them again. Like, I feel like I've had that happen with British people. And so that's what's also kind of funny to me. It's very much that same way.
Uncle Waldo. I didn't really understand. I understood it in some ways. I didn't understand it in other ways. I don't think I understood that they were going to eat him as a kid. Like, I don't know. I was like, oh, Uncle Waldo's just drunk. I did not understand they were going to eat him. He was going to be foie gras. Guys. Actually, he's not. I think he was supposed to be something else.
Just like roasted goose.
Roasted goose, but whatever. Anyway, anything else to say? Because I think we've hit everything.
I don't got anything to add before you tier list it.
George is iconic. Tarum bum bum, tarum bum bum.
Oh yes. We also thought it was cute that they talked about Carmen.
Yeah, so I was in Carmen, so it was a little bit near and dear to my heart. I don't know.
It was also the first play I saw her in. She was so good.
It's an opera.
Opera, yes. The opera I saw you in.
I don't think you've seen me do any other, I've done, recitals and stuff and, concerts, but I don't think I've ever done anything, actually staged. No. At least not right now. I don't have time. But it's time to talk about the elephant in the room. I can't speak on it. You can. Well, I'm going to let you speak.
Okay, I'm a different flavor of Asian, so I don't think I really can. I don't even think this one has like a generous like perspective on it, like The Crows or Song of the South. That actually is just like bad. Like that's all I would say. I think the being all like egg roll, fortune cookie always wrong. Yeah, like I don't know. I joked that it probably would have even be better, slightly better if he said like ching chong ching ching or something like that. Like like I think it's horrible. Like I think it's a very terrible scene, part of the song. So no, that one I can't really defend or even like understand. That was just it was low-key kind of cringe, I'll be honest. Not only just that, but also just kind of cringe.
You should have seen his face when it happened, because I knew it was gonna happen, and I was like, oh my word. Because I think I saw a clip of it like recently, and I was like, oh, it's that bad? Like, I didn't remember it being that bad, but yeah, it's bad. And the problem with it is this is an S tier movie, but I don't feel like I can give it S tier for like the 5 seconds that happens.
Yeah. Disney can edit out that part. I feel like that part, like, unlike other movies where you would have to heavily modify the movie to edit out, you literally could just snip this out and the movie would be exactly the same.
Disney, you can edit it out. I don't know why you haven't yet. Because they edit it on album releases.
Yeah.
It's not on album releases because I've listened to the song before.
Yeah.
It's not on album releases. Guys, you can just edit it. I think we can all agree it's not okay.
Yeah.
And it feels no plot. This isn't like the Siamese cats. This isn't like the Crows. This isn't like King Louis, which that's a whole thing. People have problems with King Louis.
I don't.
I chose not. Don't say that on the internet. But I chose to not talk about that because King Louis is fully based on Louis Prima, who is the voice actor. So I chose not to talk about that in my Jungle Book video, mainly because I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And it's not even like a Song of the South thing where you can kind of give it a little bit of grace and kind of give it some wiggle room in understanding it. No, this is just actual racism.
Yeah, like, okay. I will say Song of the South is very divisive, but like, go watch my Song of the South video if you want to know our thoughts. Song of the South is very gray. So that's like the thing.
Like, but,
is
you can understand why it's great, even if you think it's bad. Like,
yeah.
I think we both can agree it's bad, but like you can at least see a little bit of gray, give it some grace. There's no grace in this. You can't really.
There's no grace in this. This is casual racism, and it's almost like the thing that they did in Fantasia. Guess what? They edited Fantasia out years and years and years ago. So.
Yeah, I
what's going
on
with this?
I would also put Fantasia in that scene, that part of Fantasia, also in the same box of like, I get it. Get rid of that.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, all you got to do is just like look up on YouTube Fantasia like racist scene, and you'll see what we're talking about. Yeah, whatever, and you'll see what we're talking about. It's not okay. Just like this is not okay.
Yeah.
And it's not like The Crows where it's meant to be somewhat a tribute to the culture.
Yeah.
It's just
racism.
It's just racism. This is just they posted racism on Maine. Like this is straight up just casual racism. Kind of hate criming in a way. But like yeah, so I can't condone it because like there's conversations to be had about some other things, you know.
I think the good news, like I said, it's 5 minutes.
It's not even. It's a minute tops.
Yeah. Well, sorry, I said 5 minutes. I meant to say 5 seconds. Like seriously, it's like less than 10 seconds of a scene, and so like it's. Like I said, they can snip it out if they want, or even if if I, as a parent, had a DVD copy and I knew how, I don't really know how to reburn DVDs, but like...
You don't know how to reburn DVDs?
Well, I know how to burn them, but I don't know how to pull the file out, edit it, and then put it back in, you know?
I'm sure
I've just never done it. I'm sure it's not that bad, but, I feel like, just snip out that little part and be like, good, movie's exactly the same, you didn't miss much.
So my mom wants to be part of the Hunchback of Notre Dame video, so I'll talk about this with her when we do that. But my mom did that with a VHS of Hunchback of Notre Dame. She edited out Hellfire. So that's a conversation I can have with my mom about why she did what she did. But especially because it's one of the greatest songs of Disney, but that's like a whole completely different thing. So it definitely is possible to even just Disney Plus has a 10-second skip. You can just go hit the button and it'll.
True.
But that's all this to say, we don't condone that, and it actually makes me upset that it's in, because other than that, it is a perfect movie. Gorgeous. Plot-wise, it's great. The pacing is great. The characters are great. The acting is great. Everything is just great. The songs are great. Everything's great. The setting is great. Oh my gosh. Paris. I love it. Anyway. Old Paris is just amazing.
We can put it right at the top of A tier. Would that make you feel better?
Oh, I want it to be an S. I want it to be an S so bad.
Well, it's your list, so
Guys, will you forgive me and trust me, I understand. I hate crime. But guys, I have to.
You know what you should do? You should put Aristocats in S and those 5 seconds of Aristocat in F. Just cut it out. Make do the picture of the Siamese cat and just him in F. The rest of the movie can be an S.
I can agree with that compromise. Guys, how do you feel about that compromise? We good? We chilling? So I'm actually recording this, so I don't know how you all are gonna feel. So I rule out. Done. That was my gavel. I don't have anything else to say. Do you have anything else to say?
I have something to say. Everybody wants to be a cat.
Hallelujah.
Everybody wants to be a cat.
Sorry, I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. At this point, I'm kind of chugging, and I'm getting a little bit close to 100 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. This actually I kind of can't believe it because I haven't even been on YouTube for 6 months, and I already have almost 100 subscribers. That's kind of insane to me. And I know it's girl, what are you even talking about? That's not even that much. But it does mean a lot to me because, I don't know, I yap on YouTube. I yap on the internet and people actually listen to me. Crazy. That's kind of crazy. So thank you so much for listening to us yap and me yap and for staying interested. And yeah. Anything else to say to the good people?
She's soon to have more subs than my channel does.
Guys, if you're interested in game development... Isn't your channel dead?
I post on occasion.
Okay. Guys, if you're interested in game development, go subscribe to my husband. He will probably talk in the comments. Anyway, thank you so much for staying. And we really appreciate your support. Anything else to say?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
I already said that. Bye-bye.